Hey guys, Moose here with some more Minecraft. I am joined by Eric
Hey,
and Karen.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you, Karen?
I'm okay. Except like that part with like JP trying to kill my dog.
I didn't try to kill it, I just shoved it in the water. Nothing wrong with that. It can swim. I was considering putting a leash on it and like dragging it away from you. Lock it in a closet or something.
Oh god.
But yeah, so topic for today's episode, if you want to call it that. You're thinking about talking about mobile games because Eric and I are both kind of interested in game development. Not really anything. Well, I mean, we both have like, oh, this would be the game that I want to make, that I want to be known for, or whatever. But we both kind of considered, particularly that this started out being just about like control schemes for mobile games. And when I say mobile, I don't mean like handheld console kind of things. I mean like actual mobile games, like phone games, because the control scheme is a pretty serious challenge. I don't think anyone's really gotten it right yet. Totally, I think Reigns did a really good job, but it's a fairly simplistic design for the controls. So it's very effective in what it does, but there's probably more you can get out of a touchscreen than that. So you want to start us off, Eric, and talk about what your opinion is and what you think about it? Eric, you there?
I think I'm struggling. I thought I lost you for a second. Now the game's. Yep, there it goes.
Ah,
Oh.
sorry about that. Are you back though?
No worries. I mean, if you can hear me talk, I'm all good. Wow, I lost the second half of what you said, though.
Okay. Basically, I was saying, not it's what we talked about before. Like not really handheld games, just like phone games. It's an interesting challenge. Reigns did good, but it was fairly simplistic, etc., etc.
Right.
So, what is your general feeling? I know basically just to get us started, my kind of basic feeling is that ultimately it has to be pretty simplistic. Otherwise, it's just going to be too much of a mess. And I feel like people have already tried to make it complex and it hasn't really worked out. But you mentioned a couple things that very much surprised both me and Karen that may change our minds. So why don't you start us off?
Well, okay, so unfortunately, I don't have too much experience actually playing mobile games, but from what up until at least not recently, I played quite a bit when I had my Evo back in the day and played a lot of like the new Oregon Trail, and of course like for Angry Birds and all that goofy stuff. A lot of Jetpack Joyride and Fruit Ninja because I absolutely love Half Brick Studios. But I definitely I agree to the point that a lot of games haven't been too complex yet because for the most part, your phone you're not gonna sit and play a 60-hour game on your phone, right? All these games are going to be super like designed around the fact that you're going to be, oh, this guy might sit on the toilet for 20 extra minutes. Like, it's
Oh,
not,
when I say
I mean,
complex, I just mean the control scheme, not necessarily the
right.
overall game.
But I'm saying from that as a starting point for a lot of games, and I feel like a lot of people probably think about that for controls and things like that. If you wanted to make a complex game with simple controls, like you talked about Reigns, and I'm definitely gonna have to check that out once I'm able to,
You get it on
based
the
on your
PC.
review and what you talk. Oh, I forgot about that. But I feel like it's probably inherently better on a mobile device. So,
I don't know if I agree with that, but I mean,
uh,
whatever is more fun for you is ultimately how you have to play it.
well, because it's as far as control schemes for Rain, I think I saw an article. Someone put it pretty well. It's basically just like Tinder controls.
Yeah, that's what everyone said. But there's nothing about PC that makes it not work for PC, I would say.
Of course, yeah. But I think and this is kind of a good segue. I think with a lot of like kids growing up and a lot of people playing more and more mobile games, that um, that kind of design will it's just inherently better for mobile. And at this time in history, I wager to say that more people would want, or more young people would rather play a mobile game than a console or PC game. Like, especially kids.
I sure hope not.
Well, okay.
Well, okay. Are you saying bigger audience, or are you saying the same people? Like, someone who would have traditionally been a PC gamer would ultimately prefer to play on a mobile device? Or are you saying, like, for the average person, whether they play games or not, they'd be more likely to play on their phone?
Well, definitely mostly B, but I'm aiming more towards like kids who are growing up playing, like, because I grew up on the Super Nintendo, right? And I loved like Super Mario World. So it's like, oh, Mario's so cool. I'm gonna play with Mario. And but at the time, you had your controller, like up, down, left, right, A, B, X, Y, L, R, start, select. That's what you had, and it totally worked. But now a kid can pick up an iPhone or an iPad and physically touch the character that they so joyfully love. So I feel like there's inherently just a better connection, especially for kids growing up, towards mobile. So with that in mind, mobile games are going to become more complex because all the kids that grew up playing Super Nintendo and PlayStation are making games now, and that cycle has to continue. People are going to keep making games, and the next generation of gamers will grow up having played Angry Birds and Fruit Ninja and Temple Run and all these games that are coming out on mobile with inherently simple control schemes that you just pick up and put down. But take a look. Oh, go ahead.
Wouldn't they also be playing whatever console and PC titles fit in with those? I mean, I don't see why they're... I'm still not really seeing why you'd inherently see more, like, from someone you'd consider a core gamer, someone who, like, currently would play console games or PC games as an adult. I'm still not seeing why. I don't really buy that touching the character, like having a touchscreen and like literally touching the screen where the character is, creates a better connection. That's kind of... I don't know if I buy into that. I guess I just don't really see the logic.
So, well, it's not so much... I didn't mean it to sound as sappy as that. But when you grow up knowing a controller, you're going to design games based around that as a designer, I feel.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying now.
There's a whole generation of kids growing up with touchscreen controls. So the next generation of touchscreen games, I think, are going to be more complex and push the boundaries way more than any games that we've seen so far on the medium.
Okay, that's reasonable, and that makes much more sense now. So, yeah, I agree with that. But at the same time, I think those kids are also growing up, even to a much greater extent, with mouse and keyboard, since it's so critical. Like, being able to type properly is such a huge job skill. I think that's kind of going to be a little bit more prevalent still than touchscreens will, simply because, yeah, okay, you got your phone, you're using it every day, but not for anything complicated, not for anything game related. It's just, all right, well, there's a button here that says this is my contacts list. Okay, I put my thumb there and I get my contacts. Like, that's kind of the extent of most of the interactions you see on that. Mouse and keyboard, you're all over the keyboard. You're all, the mouse is pretty simple, kind of same deal there. But I don't know if it's to such a degree that it's going to be to the exclusion of anything else, I guess, is what I'm getting at. I don't think one is going to eclipse the other than the current situation, which is sort of, well, if it's complex, it's on a console or PC. If it's simple, it's on a phone. So, on that front.
I mean, and while... okay. What is the old logic, like what you see in like SAT questions? It's like, while many simple games are on mobile, it shouldn't be a logical leap to say that all mobile games are simple.
Correlation is not causation, or generalization. I don't know. There's a few different things there. I thought you were taking that in a different direction, so I thought you were going somewhere else with that. But yeah.
No. I think, and I mean, you knew it was coming. I was going to bring it up, but my prime example for a relatively complex game to use touchscreen controls, I think Bastion shined beautifully. There's so much
Yeah.
to learn from that game.
So could you talk about that? Because neither Karen or I have played it, and we were both very surprised to find out that it came out on mobile devices because that's like a solid platform, well, not platformer, but that's a controller game, like through and through. That is objectively a controller game. So I don't know how you would transition that to a touchscreen and have it not be total shit. I mean, did the gameplay change, or walk us through it?
No,
What's the deal?
the game itself, I don't think they cut any content. You may have not gotten the DLC, the free DLC that PCs
Yeah,
had gotten,
it's not a concern.
but
That's not going to change much.
as far as it's been a while since I've had the pleasure of actually playing it because it really is a pleasure. It's so remarkable just to see um, mobile game or mobile controls like done so fluidly, and it's still got its hiccups. I won't
Okay,
deny that.
but like give
But
us
what you do
specifics.
is, yeah,
Sorry,
I'm building it up. Hold on,
sorry. All right,
I'm
getting
edging the
impatient.
audience here. Get ready, guys, because I'm
We're
about to blow your mind.
we're
Okay.
not that kind of YouTube channel.
Oh,
See, and what I should do is just build it up for the next 10 minutes. But no,
That's
Bastion,
what I was
what you
afraid
do,
of.
you to move. If I remember correctly, he just follows your finger, so you're not using a virtual D-pad. You put
Okay,
your
so
finger down.
that's kind of what was wasn't there a Zelda game on the 3DS that worked that way with the pen?
Spirit
I
tracks, maybe.
think no, because that one's a train. It was the other. Well, maybe it was. I don't know. I never played it. I just saw some media about it that seemed like that's how it worked. But anyway, sorry. Please continue.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's like swipe for dodge roll and tap for attack. I could be wrong, but all three are relatively quick motions. I don't remember how your special works because you have that special attack for
Yeah.
each combination. Um, but apart from that, that's pretty much just the control scheme. And you've got different weapons, like excuse me, like the musket or the mortar, which completely changes the way the game is played. But and actually, if you have a chance, if you have a controller for PC and you have Bastion, jump between in the middle of the game. Well, get acquainted with the controls, but then jump between the two, and you'll see how drastically they change their approach for those two controls. I feel like Supergiant also did. They didn't say, "Oh, well, this worked well for PC and console, so it'll work good for mobile." We need to make a game that we need to make this in a way that will be conclusive or conducive to playing on a mobile platform. So basically, they did away with a typical controller, which I think is the right choice.
Yeah, you
Um,
have to. There's no way you do Bastion on mobile without really kind of doing something weird. I
yeah,
think anyway.
and I definitely love to talk more about Bastion as a whole for mobile gaming more at some point, and I'm sure one of these days I'll just talk about it on a channel and you can link it because that's probably I've got so much to say about that game. It's unreal, both as a fan and as someone who just likes to see good games be made.
Yeah, that's understandable. I'm similar, but mostly just the music. I'm not as into it as you are, which is that doesn't need to be. It's fine.
Right.
So
But and actually we just talked about sword and sorcery uh, earlier, and I think that's another game that pretty sure that's the same way it's controlled. It's a touch and drag sort of thing, but that game's like on a 2D plane for the most part.
yes, well,
But
you could say that Bastion is too. It's just like Sword and Sorcery is 2D, but also linear, whereas
yeah,
Bastion is like a bird's eye view map. Technically, both
right.
2D, or I guess one is 1D.
No,
I forget
it's
how that
like
works. I forget what 1D is.
back. Well, one dimensional would be Flatland, which that would be an interesting game, but it wouldn't look interesting.
Yeah.
um, no, like as far as just the plane, like just because Bastion is rendered in 2D doesn't mean it's not like a three. That's because you do have that third plane. You're going
Not from a
on an
movement
X, Y,
perspective, though.
and oh, I guess that's true. Not in, well,
That's what
I
I'm getting at. The
suppose.
gameplay is not 3-dimensional, it's 2D. It's definitely
But
2D
yeah.
gameplay.
But what I meant to imply with Super Brothers is that it's like it's built more like a platformer on that
Yeah.
kind of where
Yep,
it's
side
right on the
scroller,
horizon.
instead
Yeah,
of top down. Yeah.
and I think there's definitely a lot to be learned, but I think there's going to be some games that are coming out. As a matter of fact, there already are. There's a few that I really want to try that seem like they have really promising controls. One looks like a Dark Souls clone
Oh, don't tell me
for
it's Salt.
mobile.
What is it?
No, it's a one word name though. Let me
Salt.
look it up. It's
It's
not Salt.
okay. I'm really happy it's not Salt because I did not like Salt. I thought Salt looked
Did you try it?
no, but I watched enough gameplay to know that this was kind of like,
Oh,
okay,
because
this looks
apparently
really.
it's a pretty decent game if you play it.
People said that, but I looked at it. I think, and this is kind of, I'm echoing other people's sentiment. This isn't my sentiment, but it seemed like the only reason it was really popular because it was immediately prior to the Dark Souls 3 release. So people were like itching for Dark Souls, and this was kind of like a temporary stand-in. And that's why it kind of did as well as it did. I don't know if that's true, but it sure felt that way. Because it did not look good from and I saw a lot of complaints. Like the way dodge rolls worked were just stupid. Like you had to be right up next to him before you could actually roll. Otherwise, it would just he'd block you and you'd be stuck in front of the monster and get hit. I don't know. It just didn't seem like it was a very solid, polished game.
The game that I want to check out is called Horn. Unfortunately, and I could talk about for a mobile game the way funding, how those things make money. But
Yeah,
it's a $6 game on a mobile release, which is always
that's
kind of tough to justify.
it's not gonna happen. If it okay, it would work if it came out on like if you put it on Steam and sold it, maybe, but you
Right.
kind of have to get yourself in there first. You can't just start with that. So, I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, they'll always catch people like me or people who are just curious
Oh
because
yeah,
I'm gonna be
someone's going to pay
investing
for it.
with them just because.
Yeah, someone's going to
But
pay, but not enough to be successful.
right, yeah, you're not gonna be a game like that isn't gonna be the next Angry Birds or I keep saying Angry Birds. Isn't Candy Crush the like still
Yeah,
reigning
it's
champ?
Yeah.
one of them. There's it. Well, Clash of Clans. All those ones are popular right now. They're
Uh,
you. I think you have to be exploitative to find success to that degree. And I just don't
yeah,
think that game like if you're paying up front, it's not going to be that way. I'm totally
yeah.
lost. Here we go. This is where I want to go.
Um, but it's definitely true that as of right now, most mobile games are pretty simplistic, both in their controls and their mechanics. But
So, but you think
the
they can go
more,
beyond that?
yeah, definitely to the point. Okay, this is where I know you'll disagree, and then a lot of people probably will. But I think that probably long after we're gone and gaming continues to evolve, touchscreen will phase out controller for certain genres.
No way. Well, okay.
Oh God.
It's what genres?
Well, or and like even like genre defining like whole new types of games based on touchscreens. But definitely like strategy games, RTS, or not RTS so
I
much.
was gonna say like no way in
Um,
hell is that happening for
then
RTS.
again, I would totally love to play like a classic RTS on the touchscreen, like Age of Empires. That would be awesome.
There's too
Um,
much micromanagement within that for something as imprecise as a touchscreen to work, in my opinion.
but see, and I think we talked about this last time. Touchscreens aren't going to be imprecise forever.
Yeah, but they are because the issue isn't the tech; it's the person.
I still feel like proper calibration helps with that. Not
Helps,
to say
sure,
that most
but at the end of the day, you can't like. That was the thing you were talking about kids playing touchscreen games. I'm like, they're really notoriously uncoordinated. That's going to be tough for a lot of the stuff you're going to talk about.
yeah, but I mean, I've seen a lot of kids, man. What did I just see the other day? It cracked me. Oh no, I was at Walmart of all places, and this kid, he couldn't have been more. He like I'm gonna say 7. He had to be 7, and he's freaking out. Mom, I want a PC game. He's pointing at PS4 games. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And he's like, I needed to play Five Nights at Freddy's. And I'm like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah.
that is not. Yeah, I mean, we hear about kids playing Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto all the time. That's a bit easier.
That's different,
I guess-
yeah. Dude,
So-
I saw like the intro. One of my neighbors was like a cool guy. He worked at this place called SGI, which is like a tech company around here. I think they may have gone out of business a while ago, but he had like PlayStation 1, Crash Bandicoot, all these games, all this stuff. He was a cool guy. Then he also had Resident Evil, and like he showed me Resident Evil, and it was like the intro to, I think it was at Resident Evil 1. And like you go into you go see a guy, and he's in like a butcher shop, or he's in some kind of store, and you're talking to him or whatever, and then zombies like break through the wall and eat him. And all the pixelated glory pissed myself. I was terrified of zombies. I didn't actually piss myself, but I was terrified of zombies for like a long fucking time.
That was me with Resident Evil 1. It's
Yeah.
actually weird because, you know, like when I was young, the first time I saw Resident Evil 1, I was so scared that, you know, being religious and all, I was like, I was asking my aunt to take me to church every night because I was so scared that a zombie would get me. But like growing up, like I started becoming more into horror games and like, you know,
I think if you get the shit scared out of you as a kid, some of it, like, now you like that, and you try and find more of that. I don't get the logic of that, but that seems to be how it works psychologically. I am not that way. I cannot do horror. I cannot handle horror. It's just, you know, I've watched playthroughs for Amnesia. I know what happens. I know the game. Loaded up the game, got it in a Humble Bundle, loaded it up for about 2 minutes. Didn't see anything, nothing scared me, nothing came into the game, and I couldn't play. I like was going up some stairs, I was like, alright, too much, nope, I'm out. I haven't seen anything, no monsters, nothing's happened yet, but I can't do this. And I just shut it down, uninstalled it, never reinstalled it. And I have no desire to.
And that's the awesome thing about horror games. Well, and I'm not a fan either. I don't like horror games, but I love them as games because they're one of the few games that can really elicit, like, how many other games elicit like straight up fight or flight?
Almost
Other than horror
none.
games.
Well,
Exactly.
to me, that's not it so much, but it's related. I like them because of the atmosphere. Like, that's one of the few games where it really, people pay a lot of attention to nurturing a little bit of an atmosphere to the game. Some of them are like cheap, shitty ones where okay, well, whatever, there's gonna be a jump scare here and a jump scare there, and you'll piss yourself and scream, and then we'll continue, and this is what we signed up for, and because we're boring and can't do anything interesting with our game. Those ones are shit. But stuff like Silent Hill and all that, like, I'm very much impressed by that.
You know, I think we need a good procedurally generated horror game.
Isn't
Now,
it sort of like in some ways that's maybe Left 4 Dead? If you say like enemy placement's procedural in that game a little bit?
Yeah, but is Left 4 Dead really a horror game?
Yeah, well that's the thing, is it's not, doesn't quite fit in there, but like maybe to some degree that's maybe an option.
Right. But if you, okay, so the reason I say that is because you look at a game like Dead Space, and
I really didn't
well,
like that
I
one.
don't, I still wouldn't call that. But
I feel like
if I remember correctly, wasn't it short? It was a pretty short game, generally
I
speaking.
don't know if it was short, but the story was just, it rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like the writing.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's for you know, for whatever reason. That's not why I didn't like it. I only played it. Well, I didn't like it because I don't like horror games.
Yeah,
But
well,
also
there's that.
because games like that, but games like that also have like such limited replay value.
Yeah, there's
Like
that too.
you're gonna play you're gonna play a horror game, and you're gonna play it once, maybe twice, unless you really like it.
Holy
unless
shit.
you find your bastion.
Guys, I just found creeper spawning. Like this is the cave where they come to have sex. There's like 6 of them sitting at the bottom of this like mineshaft kind of looking thing.
Is
Some
there
of
a
them are
spawner?
zombies. No, I don't think there's creeper spawners that spawn naturally. Wouldn't that be hell? And also, you'd just stand by it to kill it. You wouldn't have to mine it out. You'd just kind of stand there. I swear to God, there's like 3 or 4 down here. And I killed 2 on the way up. But anyway, do you really think a procedural one would have that much replay value? Because I feel like once you're kind of used to the scares, it's like, okay, well, you've already shown me everything you're going to show me.
See, that's why this is... Okay. We're gonna gush on that Binding of Isaac a little bit. Binding of Isaac, of course, isn't a horror game, but it's definitely creepy.
You get over it, though. Or I did,
I'd
anyway.
say more disgusting. I can't watch it while eating.
Yeah, I don't get that. I have no problem with that. It's blood and guts and poop and piss. It's not a big deal. For me, anyway.
Yeah. But if you were to take that kind of methodology, and instead of putting all the modulation or modifications and things like that into the power-up system, you come up with so many different ways that the environment can scare you that like each one kind of cooperates with each other. And then, you take some hints from you balance out your atmosphere to jump scare ratio.
Or would you even want to have jump scares in this situation?
Yeah, I think any horror game should have at least some element of jump scares, because that's what... I mean, look at Five Nights at Freddy's. That game's pretty much all build up and jump scare, and I mean, it's getting a goddamn movie.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm actually kind of disappointed now. I'm not happy about that. It's not... the game's fine. I respect the developer and everything, but come on. That's not what you should be making movies out of.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be... I'm a little confused. It'll be interesting to see if the creator actually has some say, and like if they add some elements to the movie that actually add to the mythos of the game.
I'm 100% sure he does not have any input. That guy is nobody. I mean, no disrespect to him, but I'm sure that wasn't a good deal for him. They're not giving him much.
Yeah, I'm sure. But that being said, I think, and in tech, I can even turn this around and say that you could, oof.
No, mobile horror, I know where you're going. That's a really bad idea.
I was about to say, yeah.
I don't need people screaming on the bus. Yeah, I don't need someone start having a fucking freak out on the bus on the way to work or something. I can't handle that.
Right.
We got enough shit going on in the morning. Huh?
I want to hear you squeak.
No, I'm good. I don't squeak.
I bet you would.
No, I would react violently and my monitor would break.
One of those guys that just like punches the shit. Like, have you seen that gif of the guy who walks into an elevator and just punches the shit out of the dude just as whatever?
Yeah, and there's also the one where some guy's hiding in a trash can and he like pops out to spook his buddy, and his buddy just like clocks him in the face and knocks him right the fuck out. Like, that would be me.
But I feel like a modular or something that can... Okay, another good... Well, I don't want to make this run too long talking about horror.
No, but this is definitely going to be the next... The next episode is going to be like doing a design document for like a procedurally generated horror game, and like what would that look like? Because this is an interesting conversation. Let's set it up, maybe.
Let's take No Man's Sky...
No, you've already failed.
A genre that both of us hate, and try to come up with a game around it.
No, but see, that's the thing. It's a genre that we don't like, but we like we like the design.
Yeah, I love like I said, I love what it does, how it interacts with the player. Yeah. And if you want to talk about games that, mess with the player psychologically and trying to get a player to do something that you want them to do without them knowing it.
Yeah, which isn't giving me their money.
Right.
Though maybe that too.
Oof. Yeah, there we go. Let's make a mobile. Okay.
There's the mobile element.
Adding a mobile one, but then also have microtransactions.
Like every time you get scared, it bills you 50 cents.
Pay $1.99 to have your sanity meter go down instantly. Boom. We're rolling in the money. or sanity meter go up. You want them to be more sane, I guess, if they don't want to be scared in public. So it's like, I don't want to make a fool out of myself. Yes, I'm going to pay $2 so I don't get the shit scared out of me.
All right. This is really good. Let's I want to continue this because this is a hell of a conversation. So, but for now, we kind of concluded the mobile game conversation, I think. So, I think we'll end this one here, if that sounds good to you guys. I think we kind of figured out where we stand on mobile games for the most part.
Sorry that I derailed it somewhat.
No, look, it's entertaining and we're still not at 40 minutes, so we're in good shape. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and very much hope you join me for the next one, because I'm absolutely looking forward to having this discussion about a procedurally generated horror game and how the hell we're going to make that work. So it's an interesting idea, but anyway, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Take care. Yeah, just talk right over me.
Sorry.
Assholes.
See, what we need to do is try to plan it so we all say take care at the same time, but at different, harmonizing with each other.
Yeah. That'll be the next video. But anyway, take care for real. See you guys. Hopefully no one's going to talk over me this time. Nope. All right. Success. We're out. Later.